Okay, welcome back, everybody. My name is Keith, also known as Uhfgood, and for this story, we are continuing writing on the story for part one. Now, I need to start my timer. Okay, so this is what I wrote down so far, right? Halfway finds out major schools, hotels, and dining places are being closed up and being used for different purposes. Real dragons start roaming the land, and tourists seem to be disappearing. Halfway gets fired, and Maximilian is now bought Enchanted Lands, and the king seems to be acting strangely. That isn't really so much of a synopsis, though, and that's kind of what I was trying to put here. So we need to define what part one is about. So going back here to, we need to get from the inciting incident, which is halfway getting fired, and we need to get to, we encompass John Thomas entering, okay, and then by part two, we just John and halfway discover that Maximilian's is none other than the previous banished sorcerer, right? So that is kind of, so this is what I wrote for part two. So since plot point one and the midpoint, so we figure out who Max is. And midpoint is the fact that they discover that he is building this giant, massive machine, and they actually figure out what the machine is used for and what it's about. So, what's the deal here? What do I... Okay, the one thing I forgot to do was start up this guy, and I'm going to mute it. And I'm going to bump this up here because I was just starting the Hobbit audio book. And here I am just sketching. How nice. Okay, so back to our story. Let's put this kind of back down here again, because this is just to add some interest so you don't, get bored or whatever. Anyways, messing with my nose a lot apparently. Okay, so what I don't really have, I guess what I really need to do is I need to kind of, instead of, here, I'm going to do the thing that I always do. We're gonna forget that. We're going to actually write a synopsis of each part, what each part is about. Okay, they are part of the big story. They're not games in and of themselves, but they will each have a conclusion and probably like a cliffhanger, except for the last one. So what I need to do is synopsis for each part. Okay, so part one. Here, let's do this. Part two, part three, part four, part five. And I know this is kind of boring. That's kind of why I got this, so you can kind of look around. And so really what I want to do is I want to see if I can figure out a synopsis for each part, like what each part about. Because right here, there's a lot of stuff here in part one, including the all right. Okay, including so Barbie. Okay. Then so what we need to do is I need to define what part one is about. What is part one about? See, that's, it's not hard, but it's kind of hard. What's your, okay, so like what's your goal? Okay, we'll say what is halfway's goal. Because at first it's kind of like a mystery, right? Mysteries don't have goals other than to solve the mystery. Okay. And his solution is to bring somebody from the outside, I guess. So the whole first part, so maybe instead of this part where he discovers who he is, with John's help, he discovers who Maximilians is. Who is this guy? Who is this Maximilians guy? So part one is about see, I'm not sure. You know, this would work easier, I guess, as one game. I was just going to, because I have so many different characters, I was thinking of, because there's, based on the characters that I created, there are several things that go on here. Okay, so in the end, there's this giant battle between Max and his minions and John are halfway and his friends. So what do I got here? I have okay, so I have John, Princess Karen. Now Princess Karen comes from the realm, the realm of Verdance, and they have magic in them, and so one of Max's plans is to get Barty the gnome to kidnap her, and he does so. In fact, he does when John enters in. He's doing so just as John is actually entering. So that kind of sets up. I guess I have to have a goal for halfway. Halfway just wants to get to down to the bottom, to the bottom of the situation, I guess. I don't know, is that strong enough for a story? Let me see if I can, here, let's pull up a browser and let us check and see, oh, I don't care about Time for Monkey. Let's do a search for what is a goal in a mystery? I don't know how to say it. No, mystery shopping? I didn't say mystery shopping. Writing mysteries. Goals? How about that? Take the mystery of how to write a mystery. 25 things you need to know about writing mysteries. Okay, we'll start with one. We'll briefly, I don't want to spend forever looking at this. If you saw the season-ending episode of Monk, season or actual, anyways, do you remember the clue that helped to catch the killer? Me neither. In the recent thriller Fractured, what was the mistake Anthony Hopkins made that proved he killed his wife? You got me. My point, I do have one, is that writers often think the most important aspect of good mystery is the ingenuity of the crime and unraveling the clues, which many writers are scared to death. Blah blah blah. Tightly plotted narratives. Blah blah blah. Chinatown. The best mysteries are about the mystery of character. In simplest terms, a story about disruption of the social order. A crime begins, society is committed, a man is murdered, a bank is robbed, whatever. We, the viewer, want to know two things: who did it and why. At least that's what we think we want. What do we really want? We want order restored. We want violator, the social compact, the killer, the thief, the blackmailer caught, so that things in our world are set right once more. Who do we want to do this? Our surrogate, the smarter, wittier, and more doggedly determined version of ourselves. Okay, the detective hero. Okay, I get it. Also, exploration and resolution of psychological tension. How do the characters act? What do they want? See, this is a little too heavy-handed. See, when I read a thing on writing before, things I'm writing, or at least for a movie, usually the main character wants something, and he wants it so bad that he's willing to do anything to get it. And it's usually the most important thing. But on a mystery, you kind of don't have that. A mystery, they don't have a goal. But that's not true, because if you're like watching a Columbo or something, or a Murder, She Wrote, basically somebody dies, but nobody knows who it is. And there's usually like a crime committed. But in my game, there is not really a crime committed here. I mean, there is. I'm not saying that right. Because basically, Enchanted Lands has been turned upside down, basically. Schools are closed, real dragons, dwarves are kind of acting kind of mean, sort of like the gnomes usually do. The king acts really weird. And the bad guy has just bought Enchanted Lands, and now he owns it, so he can do whatever he wants with it. Okay, so how do I set up this? What's the plot of this first point? Because all it halfway needs to do is he needs to find out that basically he finds out stuff is going wrong, and he doesn't know how to fix it, or he doesn't know who to trust, or however you want to say it. So he thinks he needs some outside help. Okay, that is the point. So maybe that is the point of part one. See, now I'm actually getting somewhere, even though I'm just getting to the end of this video. So, Enchanted Lands, the magical resort, has been turned upside down. Most of the hotels are closed. Most of the dining, as well as most of the dining places. Halfway, the Wizard Supreme, and the King's Advisor has just gotten fired and finds out Enchanted Lands has been purchased by some stranger known as max. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wrote already here above. But in the next video, I will get to the part where it tells what the goal here is. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to stop and reset this. I am going to go ahead and say see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.